Hi, I'm Mwenyewe Dawan, Assistant Superintendent in the Wissahickon School District. I created this podcast, Leading with Dignity, Casual Conversations with Dr. Dawan, to help everyone to get to know our leaders better and all the wonderful work that they do. I'd like to highlight not just the incredible work that they do, but also have them share their passions, their personality, and some of their stories so that you can get to know them better. I hope you'll enjoy this series, and please do give us feedback. Thank you. Okay, Dr. Schmidt, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
I've been looking forward to this conversation, and I'm so excited that you are joining me. And let me introduce you. So Dr. Schmidt is our Director of Teaching and Learning, and I would say curriculum extraordinaire. I mean, you are just so, I truly have learned so much from you in your role and what you do in our district as it relates to all things teaching and learning and curriculum. Your curriculum review process is the most comprehensive and rigorous process I have ever experienced.
Oh, I love it. I love that work. I love working with our staff. It's my passion. It's just because it's always different. It's something different all the time.
Yeah. Your passion for it shows, for sure. I'm thinking about some of those meetings and how excited you get. So we start with some lighthearted conversation, as you know, and you'll have a choice of questions, or you can make up your own question. We'll just go with the flow. Okay. We get to make the rules here.
Okay. Like that, yeah.
So my first question for you is, what's your favorite season and why? Or who do you admire most in life?
So I will go with favorite season. My favorite season is the winter season. I just love bundling up. I love wearing big bulky sweaters. Like I just love adding layers, and I just love that time of year. Like it's just, I think the nuances of it just being like magical, like the holidays are around that time, a lot of family gatherings, and I love snow. I know like snow is like a love-hate thing,
Right.
but I love snow. I just find it to be so quiet and peaceful, and every year I'm really hopeful that we get like a blizzard of 96, right?
What?
Like I want like a 30-inch right?
Dr. Schmidt, you are an educator.
I want it because that means it's just it almost like shuts down the whole world, right? Like it's just really quiet and peaceful. So
there is something so magical about the first snow of the season. And I'm thinking about some of those snow experiences when you step outside, and it is just so peaceful.
It's like envision like being a kid and getting all bundled up in my big onesie snowsuit and like going outside. You could hardly move.
Right.
It's just like so much fun.
It's so good.
Yeah.
But you have a lot of fun memories from being a child.
I do.
That's awesome. What's your favorite all-time movie, book, or play, and why? Or what's your dream vacation destination and why?
Well, I'll go with favorite movie, and this is probably like a random movie, is I like the movie Rudy.
Oh.
So I just love, I enjoy football, not college football, but I enjoy watching pro football. And I saw that movie, I'm going to date myself, but like around college. And I just really appreciated the story and the determination and overcoming obstacles. And the moment at the end when Rudy gets on the field and makes that big play and sacks the quarterback, I don't know, it just gives me the chills every time. So it's just like a really inspirational movie, and it's just one that I always think about. Like, okay, like I can do this. I can overcome these challenges. I can do these things.
There's so many stories in that movie that can be lifted up to use as motivation and inspiration. That is such an inspirational movie. I love that. Your next question. What are some personal passions or interests you have outside of your role in the district? Oftentimes we only see like district Dr. Schmidt, right? So what are some things outside? Or what's one thing people would be surprised to know about you?
So I'll go with the past outside of the district. So opposite of my favorite season, which is winter, I love gardening and landscaping. I just love being outside and having my hands in dirt and just thinking about my space in my yard and where I can dig things out or create a new space and plant new flowers. And so I just love that. The last couple of years I ripped out all of the landscaping in the front of my house and I replaced it with new shrubs and things like that. Like I just love the finished product too. Like it's a lot of work, but at the end it looks really nice. So I'm just excited to see that.
That's something that I admire about you, being able to successfully garden.
Outdoor spaces only.
Oh, okay.
Indoors is a challenge.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because we've talked about that.
Yeah.
My history with plants is not good.
Yeah.
Indoor or outdoor, I can't. I've just not been successful. Yeah. But I do appreciate the process, and I admire people who are successful with it, and I aspire to be successful. So, it's awesome. All right, so we'll shift a little bit and just take a deep dive at this point. Let's talk about your job here in the Wissahickon School District. Talk to me about your daily activities. Like, what do you do every day? What would people be interested to know about your role here? Maybe just describe a typical day, because I know no day is the same in your department.
Right.
But if you were to describe a typical day, what would that look like?
The Department of Teaching and Learning is what I'll say is like the heart of the district, because so much of what happens in the district really flows through our department, whether it's work related to curriculum, we were talking about that earlier, supporting teachers with instructional practices, digging into data as a result of like assessments or surveys, professional development for staff, like all of that just comes through our department. Different program opportunities for students. And so a typical day, it really depends on the time of year, because a lot of our work is process driven. So depending on where we are as far as planning for implementing or supporting a program or a curriculum implementation, that really determines what we're doing. But the heart of our work is working with staff, with our administrative team, with our teachers, and whether they're collaboratively part of the different processes, feedback from them. We're meeting with them to understand challenges. We're meeting with them to provide support. They have a key role in all of the things that we do.
Your department also collaborates with other departments.
Mm-hmm.
There's no department in this organization that you don't have a collaboration with.
Right.
And I think about whether it's student services or the Department of Equity and Cultural Responsiveness, the Department of Technology, the Department of Human Resources, the business office, like all of the departments, So that's an integral sort of relationship.
Yeah. I mean, we have to be thoughtful about, just planning for budget. With special education, again, just thinking about instructionally, how we're supporting the diverse needs of all of our students. So with student services, technology is an integral part of our instructional models in the classroom and teaching and learning every single day. And HR, onboarding our new hires and our induction program, that's another key component of the work that we do to support our new teachers, because we want to make sure that they're successful. Yeah, at the heart of the district.
I was talking earlier today with someone about what the research says regarding teacher efficacy. And so when I think about the opportunities for teachers, the professional learning, the work with the instructional coaches, the work with training around new curriculum resources, that all affects teacher efficacy. And so when we think about student outcomes and how critical all of these elements are,
it's one of the things that drew me to this role from the beginning. I was a high school math teacher, and the school district that I was working in at the time had received some funding, and from that they created instructional coaching positions. And so I had an opportunity to step into that role, and it was just very eye-opening to me, because as a teacher, I knew the impact that I had on my students in my classes. The opportunity to step in that role, I just really had a greater appreciation for a lot of the work that happens behind the scenes, and how working with teachers would have a greater impact on students and outcomes for students. And once I started in that role, I just continued to want to learn and grow about different aspects of the organization relative to instructional practices and professional development. Like, it really was a spark for me in terms of my career trajectory. And so it really is. And we've talked about this. For me, building staff capacity really is at the heart of what I do. It's so important for us as educators to continue to learn and grow and continue to implement, those newer practices and what is best for students, what best meets different students' needs. Again, going back to technology, how that really helps us to maximize instructional opportunities.
Yeah, it's such good work, and I'm grateful to have had the experiences to be a part of it with you. So let's talk about challenges. I mean, no job is without challenges. How do you approach challenges in your position?
So I mean, again, in our department, I think many of the challenges are rooted in change. And so when we think about change and the trajectory of change, it's really trying to understand where we are in the progression of our work and how to best meet the needs, whether it's looking at the work that we're doing and being responsive or making some adjustments to our plans and our implementation. It could be something as simple as helping a teacher with a tech ticket because we're having some technical difficulties. It could mean just, sitting down and, meeting with a teacher or a group of teachers really to understand maybe there wasn't clarity around with communication or, just trying to make sure there's clarity in that way. So it really it depends on what it is. But ultimately our goal with any challenge is just to be a support and help everyone understand the why and the intent around why we're doing it, which is rooted in our students and their success. But making sure that our staff and our administrative team, everyone feels supported as we move forward. Because if that's not happening, then, I think will usually fall flat. So that's, any of those challenges, we want to make sure that we're, trying to be proactive to avoid them, but certainly being responsive.
Do you have any projects that you're working on right now that you want to share? I mean, I know you've got plenty going on. Maybe pick one or two to share.
So I would say our curriculum review processes are probably the greatest amount of the work that we're doing right now. So we're working on our math curriculum review cycle and process. We're actually at the point now where we're finalizing the selection of our instructional materials. We're thinking about next steps next year in terms of professional development and support for staff. Again, our teachers have an integral part of that process, so they, really helped us to identify the potential resources that we would be looking at. We had surveyed families to, gather some feedback and really understand some of the challenges and some of the strengths of our current math curriculum and instructional resources. So that was really informative and helpful for us as we went through the process. Our teachers, help to revise our units of study. So we're really excited about the work that's going to be happening next year. A lot of focus and emphasis on math instruction and how we're really helping students experience math in the classroom. It is different than, when I was in the classroom. It's really helping students understand the conceptual elements of math and helping them to make connections between different math concepts. And that starts early at the elementary level. And also making sure that we're providing opportunities for students to engage in some deep problem solving and engage in math discourse in classrooms. So there's just so many elements to it. But I'm just really excited about the work that we're going to be doing next year. I look forward to sharing that with families and helping them understand what our math program will look like, build some understanding about our math resources. So looking forward to that as well.
That's exciting. And I know with the implementation of new math resources, there's going to be a lot of professional learning for staff around, resources, but also, our approaches to math in the classroom, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's exciting.
We're hoping to frame some instructional models that will really help with the blocks of time that we have at all of the different levels. Again, just to provide the best support to students.
Exciting on the horizon! Yay!
And I taught math too, so
you've been so yes.
All about math.
Yeah.
It is.
Well, we're excited for that. So now, at this point in the conversation, we get to turn the table. So you get to ask me.
Okay, so here's the question. So what gives you a zest for life?
All right, a zest for life. The first thing that pops in my head, honestly, is gratitude. Staying in a state of gratitude gives me a zest for life. Is that strange to say? Like that's my honest reaction to that question.
But I know
just grateful for all things.
Yeah.
Grateful for like so many things, for my family, my work, the people I get to work with, like you, the leaders I get to work with, the staff here, the families in this community. Like I am so grateful, and that keeps me excited about life. I don't know. I edit that out.
I love that. No, but I think you've shared that sometimes in conversations. I love and appreciate that. So another question: what makes you nervous?
What makes me nervous? Not much, honestly, not much. I think that just comes with being put in situations where there is just you just have no idea what's coming your way, and when you have had that experience so many times, not much rattles my nerves at this point. I did have my first fencing tournament that I attended.
Oh.
And I would say I was a little anxious about that event approaching. And, I went into it with the mindset of I want to learn something, I want to have fun, I want to not break any of my body parts, and it'd be great if I didn't come out last. And so I met all my goals, so that was good.
Amazing. That is amazing.
But that definitely brought up some feelings of anxiety, I would say.
Trying something new for the first time. I can think the first time I ran a half marathon, it was the same thing. I'm at the starting line. I'm like, can I do this?
Yes. Well, it's been so lovely chatting with you, Dr. Schmidt. Thank you for joining me and for sharing about your work and a little bit of your personal life, too. It's been lovely. Thank you.
I really enjoyed it. Thank you so much.
As we wrap up, I want to encourage everyone to keep leading with dignity. And remember, everyone's story matters. Until next time, let's stay involved, let's stay inspired, let's stay connected, and let's stay curious. Thanks for joining me today on Leading with Dignity, Casual Conversations with Dr. Dawan, to help us celebrate our leaders.